Okay, so like I say, I apologise for the fact that we're jumping in at the stage where we're on the actual bike stand. I've taken the batteries off and gone over to two 30 amp power supplies, 12 volts each, making 24 volts, partly because the big worry with the batteries is that if you do create a short, basically you're burning wires left, right and centre, because they will just keep delivering more and more amperage, whereas theirs will just deliver 30 amps full stop and that's all they can do, and then after that the system theoretically should be able to cope with that without it burning any wires out. Okay, so taking us through master fuse, which at the moment is just there just for safety more than anything else, and then everything is fused. This little section here is taking 24 volts down to 12 for the amps. That's your negative bus, and then that's all the plus bus with all the different fuses in there. Then, now at the moment it's a bit overkill, but I've actually got three separate speed controllers. They actually aren't, all they are themselves are just big MOSFET boards that have been driven by a little Arduino on that's underneath that board there. That it was a board I used for other stuff I've designed. And then we've got two MP3 players. The idea being one will always be playing background, one will be playing messengers, etc. And then having decided that H-bridges would have to be enormous to be able to cope with the power, I decided what I would do is I'd actually switch the forward and reverse with double relays, which are the little blue relays, and then the little black relays are the overall safety system. At the moment they're just under the control of the microcontroller, but the idea is that the last thing that comes on after everything else has been checked is those relays to actually connect the power to the wheels. In line with those, with the power for those, will also be a safety button back on the controller. I'm just programming in the Arduino with a standard PC, and then I've got a little rapid case that I've done a bit of laser cutting on and dropped some buttons in. I have invested in a rather nice T-bar, which gives a very accurate output, and all of that is running down one wire using a squared C protocol, or I2C protocol, however you want to call it, going back to the actual brain inside there. Now, it's a bit of a rat's nest at the moment, but it's more a proof of concept than anything else. What I'll do is I'll give you an idea. I've got the whole thing on a straightforward main switch there that switches on the two power supplies, so we'll switch it on and it'll go through its startup procedure. So, logs in both the screens.
Greetings, welcome to the virtual command
If the
environment.
T-bar isn't set
I'm the artificial
at 0,
intelligence who will be assisting you.
because that would be unsafe, it
Please
automatically,
input proper code and password.
there obviously will be a password at this stage, but if it detects the T-bar isn't zeroed, it won't let you go any further until the T-bar is zeroed. Checks the LEDs out, and then it's sat waiting now for me to press the start button. So a lot of this at this stage is nothing more than soundtracks, but nothing's been brought live on the system yet. There's actually no power going through to the controller. Once it's gone through its soundtracks, now we actually have got power of the controllers, but because the brakes are on, the T-bar's dead. I haven't yet put a dead man's switch on there, but that is something I'm intending to do. So until I take the brakes off, the pulse width modulation is now running, and so you can just see the wheels under there as I move the T-bar. The soundtrack follows as well. One of the things I need to do is get the gaps out of the sound file. speed down. So we can't actually change direction unless the brakes are on. By requested direction change, it ignores me. I've got to put the brakes on. Just make sure that I can't change speed, without the brakes, change reverse at any speed. Swaps over and we'll see all the little relays have actually come on now. We'll now take the brakes back off. And then get hold of the T-bar. Put the brakes on. Go over to forward travel. And away we go again. Whoops. And there we had something go dead. There we go. Now like I imagine what's happened is something under here has touched. Partly because it's still a bit of a rat's nest under there. So something somewhere has touched that shouldn't be doing. Let's fire it back on again just to make sure everything's okay.
Greetings. Welcome to the virtual command environment. I'm the artificial intelligence who will be assisting you. Please input proper code and password.
Oh, that's interesting. Something's definitely not happy. There we go, this is electronics for you. So we're back after our nasty little short out, which I think was those regulators there just not coping with how much the amps were dragging off them. Because these cheap Chinese boat amps, nice and waterproof and everything, but they do seem to be a little bit hungry on power. So we'll see what happens again. Nothing. Right, so we track the problem down, which is one of these connectors which come like that as a ring, supposedly waterproof, etc, etc, which I was using it as an inline control. You can see how that leg has almost melted the plastic away. The fit inside these is so poor that it must have been arcing and sparking, because it's not actually burnt the fuse out. The fuse itself is in good condition, but the leg is literally, so that must have been arcing and sparking all the time I've been running. And then as it's got further and further away from the contact, so we now directly kicked it straight into the fuse box, and we'll have a double check everything's running. We'll set the T-bar up as a fault to start with. So, and I've disconnected the speakers, so we'll quickly push the speakers back in. Thinking it was the actual amps that were giving in. So we'll start the whole thing again. Holding power down, and off we go again. Oh, better.
Greetings. Welcome to the virtual command environment. I'm the artificial intelligence who will be assisting you.
So we should get the T-bar error.
Please input proper code and password.
One of these days I'll do that routine for the password. So we have to zero the T-bar, which means it'll go through its final LED checks. And say it is ready to. So we now I might put a shortcut in for this so we don't have to wait for all this. If we're in the station and need to get away quickly, I might put a shortcut code that takes us straight into Run Node. So I just need to get the gaps in the sound files down, which is one of the reasons for having the 2 MP3 players. Oh, and I need to build up the second burger, because at the moment we're